Hi, and thanks for tuning in to our live radio show. Moments of Clarity with Tiffany will begin in just a few moments. Please stay tuned. Kindly take this opportunity to share this show on your platforms because change can only come when we stand together as one, especially when it comes to ending the stigma on mental health.
You are not alone, and help is out there.
Kids have mental health issues, and we also need to learn coping skills.
Let's get started and let the show begin. See you soon.
Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we are going to be discussing how to think like a CEO with a CEO Power Executive. And I will formally introduce my guest once we start the radio and Ed unmutes. I usually get caught mid-sentence, so we'll get into it. But think like a CEO, be like a CEO, and learn some tips to be entrepreneurs and and live your life to your full potential, follow your dream. And there's tips to do that. Right, I'll informally introduce you. Hi, Stacy. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
I'll give you a better introduction on the radio.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Tiffany.
And Ed, please unmute.
Festival number one for fun. This is the Tan Talk Radio Network. Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Warner.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to have an interesting topic. My guest, I've seen her interview on a entrepreneur, wonderful podcast from Brand Identity Design, and she's a business strategic coach and motivational speaker and founder and CEO of Powerhouse Executive with more than 20 years of experience in business operations, human resources, business management, and leadership. And I'm just going to give you like a preview. That's what we're going with today on how to reach our potential in life, and ever think about wanting to start your own business or do something that you've always been wanting to but haven't had the chance to, then this is the show that gives a lot of really healthy tips and little Easter egg tips kind of deal. But before I formally introduce my guest, I want to say hi to Ed.
Hey, happy Friday.
Hi, Ed.
Hey.
Happy
So, Ed,
Friday.
Yes.
Friday. So last night I got something in the mail and I wanted to show you. I was looking forward to this.
Okay.
My People's Choice Podcast Award nominee. I got 3 of these. This is my education.
Oh, very nice. Very
Yep.
nice.
They're heavy too. Best female podcast host.
Oh.
And then one with health.
Wow. Next thing you know, you're going to put a whole shelf up and everything to hold them all.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Need to expand.
Yeah.
Eh,
It's I opened it up. I thought it was the toilet brush I had ordered, and I opened it up. And like,
Well, that's a
I
nice
knew that they
surprise.
were- It's pretty cool. It brought tears to my eyes. You know, to actually hold the trophy, and maybe
Yeah.
I'll do like a little. It was late last night. Not that late, right, Stacy?
no, not that. Not at all.
We were up late, kind of preparing it, and then I was like, I checked the mail, and because there's a few boxes that had arrived, and there was 3 of these. I'm like, what is this? And I opened it up, and best female hosted podcast. Like, and Ed, these are belonging to you too. You helped me do this.
Did you put it next to your bed there so you'd wake up and see it first thing in the morning?
No, I didn't. But I haven't put them on. I'm gonna put them on a bookshelf or something. But I just wanted to have them ready for. I wanted to show you the first thing.
Very nice.
There's all 3 of them. Eventually, if they overload the my bookshelves, I'll start putting them up in the studio in there behind you.
We get a bigger room.
Well, but I'm looking forward to bigger trophies too.
There you go.
Anyway, I couldn't have done it without you, Ed. So
You can use all my space. It's empty.
No, you deserve some too. I have some. Some of my comments. My friend Abby Grady, she said, "Congrats, Tiff. Those awards are definitely better than a toilet brush."
Yeah.
I had told her that. I was expecting one. Wow, awards. Thank you, Jason from India. It was on Jason's show that I met my current guest and now friend too. Congratulations from Facebook. Wow, on the trophies, so well deserved. That's awesome. Thank you, Summit Innovations. And Jason goes, I agree with Abby on it being better than the toilet brush, but it was.
Yeah, I'm kind of missed on that. What you had to order a toilet brush?
It was like from Bed Bath and Beyond, like a toilet brush cleaner thing that is fancy. That where it doesn't look like a toilet brush. You keep it in the bathroom by the toilet instead of store it somewhere.
Okay.
And just be quiet. I had
okay.
Yeah, it was something that you just can't get at the Dollar Tree or at Publix.
You got it.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Where it's conveniently delicately hidden so it doesn't look like one, but is easily accessible, so you don't have to go look for it when it's time to clean the toilet, and like you can just give it a little swish and keep it right there, but it's not tacky.
I get.
Anyway, I'm still awaiting my toilet brush, but look at what else I got. Anyway, enough with the awards. Let me take up too much time, and I want to introduce you. This is going to be an interesting topic for you, Ed, and especially being an entrepreneur. So my guest is this business strategic coach and founder and CEO of the Powerhouse Executive with more than 20 years experience in business operations, human resources, business management, and leadership. And as a former C-suite banking executive, she's increased revenue by 200% over a 3-year period. Grew more than $50 million in assets in less than 5 years, and has hundreds of hours of speaking and workshops, trainings, events, and radio shows too. Through her executive leadership, she also gained a unique experience in strategic direction and positioning in multi-million-dollar businesses. And welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, Stacy McConnell.
Tiffany, I'm so happy to be here. This is your words are just I'm stunned and I'm speechless over your awards because what an major achievement. 3 awards: the best female podcast host, the in health and education. That it's one thing to get one, but 3 categories. Wow, that's
I
like
know,
so
it's beside
exciting.
myself.
I'm so excited for you. I am like absolutely thrilled. I love to watch when people succeed like this because this is, I mean, you've worked so hard for this and your show speaks for itself in just what an amazing show it is. So I'm absolutely honored to be on your show, Moment of Clarity, Tiffany.
Moments of Clarity, yes.
Moments of
But she's kind of
Clarity.
lagging. Ed, is her sound okay coming through the radio? It's like a little bit staticky coming through. But what do you think, Ed?
Frozen up a couple times too.
I forgot to unmute for a second. What'd you say?
It's kind of garbled a little bit, but she froze up a couple times too, so the connection might not be the greatest.
Any easy fix, or just go with it?
Go with it right now. Maybe on the break, she can sign off, sign back on.
Yeah, or make sure Jason says to make sure check it and see if your microphone is connected properly, and that the camera and everything is resolution, high definition. We can try to figure it out in the chat later.
Okay, is the crackling gone?
Maybe it is. Oh, well done. Yes. Take out those AirPods. Let's get started.
Yes.
That's totally it. All right. Yes, we're not talking to any dummy here. So, Stacy, let's talk about how you got started with all this. CEO. So the title is "Learn to Think Like a CEO" with Stacy at the Powerhouse Executive. And when I heard you speaking on a different show, I was just like, and I wasn't alone here because I heard other people saying the same thing, that we wanted to get a notepad and take notes. So I would highly recommend anybody watching this, go get your notepad, get a pen and pencil, whatever, or definitely watch the replay, because Stacy's a wealth of knowledge, especially in this kind of field. So how did you get all started? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, so I was in banking and I was in I'd been offered the CEO position, and then this event happened where the outgoing CEO decided that he wasn't going to retire, he was going to stay. And so then of course that changed my plans, and I had it all laid out on what I was going to do with my path forward. And by the way, today is March 4th. So we're marching forth today.
Yay!
So, yay!
I didn't know there was an innuendo with March 4th. I know May 4th. May the 4th be with you for Star Wars fan. I know Ed knows that one. But March 4th, like forward march. Gotcha.
Yes, we're marching forth, going forward on March 4th.
But you get one for that.
Moment of clarity, yes. So, yeah, so of course that changed my plans, and I had it all planned out what I was going to do. And so when this happened, I thought, okay, do I stay? And I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. And then I decided, okay, maybe it's time to, embark on this new adventure. I really saw it as an opportunity, and that honestly is how I got started. I just did it, and I had to take a long look at what would I like to do, what do I want my legacy to be, what do I, how can I share my gifts with people. So that's actually how I got started. And then I turned my life upside down. I left my cushy position, packed up my stuff, sold my house, and I moved all at the same time. So
Wow. So
Yeah.
you actually like
And then after that, oh, go ahead, Tiffany.
when you got promoted, then you decided not to leave. So you got all excited about going to be promoted to CEO. And then he's like, oh, never mind. I'm not going to leave. And then that
Yes, that's
would be hard
exactly
to
what
stay.
happened.
That would be hard to stay when you get all excited that you're going to move on up and then just change my mind. Sorry. For me, at least, I'd be like, well, see ya. I'm going to figure
Well,
it out
you know,
myself.
yeah, what I realized at that point is that I had put my future in the hands of somebody else.
Right. And
So,
made
you know,
him big.
that shift exactly, that shifted the trajectory of my entire life. And you know, and that to me wasn't, you know, now I'm, you know, going on to plan B, and I didn't see it coming. And I understand that he, you know, it had nothing to do with the fact that I was angry or upset or anything like that. It just was that, you know, you know, it happened, and it was just a moment of clarity where when I decided, or when I found out, you know, when I realized that my future really was in the, you know, contingent upon somebody else's decision,
Right.
and it changed my entire plan that I had. So that's when I decided to take my future and put it into my own hands. And like I said, I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit, and I really wanted to take this adventure, step into, you know, that uncertainty. And it was scary. So when I very first left, I wasn't really expecting it. I thought I was 100% prepared. I had, you know, I had the experience. I was embarking on, you know, I was furthering my education and all of these things, but at the same time, I wasn't prepared because, I mean, I had money, but it was still that uncertainty, that doubt that I was dealing with, the fear of that. And then all of a sudden you know, I had no idea really what, if this was going to work out, or if and that was unsettling for me 100%.
I've gone through a lot of businesses through getting to where I am today, a lot of jobs and working my way up through companies and being clinical director of residential facilities on management boards, admin boards where only one person was above me or whatever, working my tail off. And then they would go home at 5 and I would be working until 8 or 9, making sure quality assurance and charts and I don't know, all this stuff, which was fine. It got me the experience I have today. However, I felt kind of like a caged bird myself, so to speak, where I had ideas and I wanted to be creative, and they're like, "Oh wait, we have to be according to this grant, or according to this, we have to do this like by the book." Like where I'm at now, and the owner and CEO of a counseling center and a private practice, um, I can do whatever I want as long as it meets the standards as a licensed professional, you know, ethically, but be creative, decorate however I want, you know, things like that. Find my niche, so to speak. Um, but, and it's refreshing if you believe in yourself enough to take that risk and get sick of putting your life in the hands of someone else. And what if they do something unethical? Then it's on you too, also. You know, everything rolls downhill, and I can't say it the way that they say it, but on the radio, but you know what I mean. That it it's scary to be self-employed sometimes, but it's also refreshing to know that you can be creative and do what you want, and and not have to listen to anyone besides the law, basically, or ethics or accounting, or you know what I mean. But
Yeah, and what I like to say, Tiffany, is that we always will answer to somebody. You know, we have our clients, we have our customers, we have,
mhm,
you know, commitments and responsibilities, and that is, you know, perfectly fine. And regulation, you know, the ethics, and you know, doing. So what I like to say is that we actually become more of the decision maker in our business. And, you know, I think there's a big distinction there, because you don't always get to do what you want whenever you want. And especially if you want to, build a successful business. And, at the same time, you have the freedom to work smarter instead of harder.
Uh-huh.
And
Don't you love that?
yeah,
But I haven't figured
yeah.
that out yet myself because I seem like they on a lot, but that's me. I got a lot going on at the same time. So um
Well, with 3 hours, you're doing something right.
thank you. But no, but I also have several jobs, working mom, the radio show, the private practice, the counseling center. And my kids come first, so it's like trying to maintain, which you said in your bio, one of the things that I want to get to after the break, but you said the more distracted you are from high priorities in your business, the more you get stuck in the day-to-day operations. And as a result, your profits take a major hit and you struggle to move the ball forward in your business. And it's a major thing that we can get into because there's some tidbits that you really get the pen and paper out, everyone. And we'll get back to that in just a second. But we have to take our first commercial break. And we will be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. But before we go, I want to remind everyone you're welcome to call in 866-826-1340. 866-826-1340. And we'll be back with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany in just a moment. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hello, my name is Lucy Lopes, and I'm a real estate agent that supports ending the stigma on mental health with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am also passionate about helping you buy or sell your home. With times being so difficult, I'm here to help. Contact me at lucylopes.com. That's LUCYLOPES.com. Let me assist you through this pandemic and know that you are not alone.
If you're a show host, gamer, live streamer, podcast host, or radio show host that would like your message to get out and reach up to 30 platforms, then there's an affordable way to do that. It's called Restream. Restream makes it easy to broadcast professional live videos from your browser to multiple social platforms at once. Start your live show with guests, brand it with logos and overlays, and create an interactive experience for your audience. Learn more at Restream.io and mention Moments of Clarity for special offers.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclarity.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mocwithtiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hello, and thank you so much. Welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And if you're just tuning in, we're talking how to an expert, how to learn to think like a CEO. And with 20 years experience of helping people get to where they want to be in life, she's amazing and very much an entrepreneur, leader, and expert on helping you become where you want to be in life. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, Stacy McConnell. So Stacy, before we went to the break, we were talking about the more you're distracted from your day-to-day stuff, it can be stuck in the day-to-day operations of your business. So I'm a living example of how I have to multitask, make sure I balance my life with my kids and my job and everything. And it's that kind of what we're talking about, because it says, as a result, your profits take a major hit. You struggle to move the ball forward in your business. I have to make time management where I put a little bit of effort into each one. But what are some tips that you tell people when they're in that kind of position?
Well, first of all, you have to take your business with a CEO mindset. And you have to look at your business as a CEO. And it really is a progression, because there's two major problems that I see with solopreneurs and small business owners. And one is that, first they start building themselves a job instead of a business. And that really is just, so you're working, and you're generating revenue, but you're not really growing your business because you're too busy working in it. You're busy learning how to do marketing and copywriting and whatever else, whatever skills that you think that you need in your business. And the problem with that is that to get the expertise that you need, it takes 10,000 hours just to become an expert. And that's 5 years working full time. That's 40 hours a week of on each skill that you try to learn. And then you don't get to.
Okay, so you just said that's 5 years, right? I'm thinking
Yeah.
okay, so 40 hours a week, 5 years. I'm trying to do the math, 10,000 hours. How old do you have to be?
Exactly. I mean, so it could take you a lifetime to, and then do you really want to wear all those hats in your business? And so that's really having that CEO mindset. And the other one is that, again, just working the day to day. I mean, could you imagine if you went to a dentist office and then they're answering the phone, they're scheduling your appointment, and then you call to check in, and then the dentist says, okay, come on back. I mean, so it's the same concept. So whether it's a dentist office, or whether you're a coach, a consultant, or restaurant owner, it doesn't matter. I mean, could you imagine going into a restaurant and then you have this one person that is seating you, bringing your drink, going back to the kitchen and cooking
You're preaching to the choir. I answer my own calls. I text my clients. I do all of that. I used to have an office manager myself that helped, and you even suggested I need someone maybe just for 10 hours a week just to do some of the stuff, or 5 hours or something for $10 an hour or something. But I mean, I'm a mental health therapist, so I want that personal contact with my clients. I want to accept the call to make sure that it's not, because I like quality services, not quantity. I want to make sure I'm a good fit for them. But as for the radio show, the marketing and the social media and stuff like that is time consuming, where someone else could do just probably a better job than me. Just the busy work, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And Tiffany, there's no right or wrong, and there's no judgment, for people that, want to, operate and be completely hands-on. So I'm talking to the person that really wants to grow their business and they have a vision. So what it can do is just keep you from your larger goals and your larger vision. It isn't that there is any right or wrong way, but it also takes a strategy. And so what I do with my clients is that first we work on bringing in the revenue, and I do that from a public stage because I love public speaking. And not only is public speaking very effective in building your business and gaining traction and building your credibility and authority, business owners and solopreneurs that actually go out and do the public speaking earn at a minimum $30,000 more in revenue than those that don't. At a minimum.
You're talking about being on podcasts or radio shows like this, that kind of thing.
Yeah, public speaking could be, it could be radio, it could be podcast interviews, it could be at a public stage, it could be, virtual events. There's a lot of different ways, and you get that brand consistency. But then when you are able to actually bring in that revenue, drive sales, then you can start building yourself a team. If that's what you want, you can, build a bench of other professionals. So if you have, I'll go back to, I'll use your profession, Tiffany. So
Okay.
if you're a mental health counselor and you wanted to really grow your practice, that revenue would actually give you more of the freedom to do that, because then you could hire other mental health counselors. You could start an internship program. You could, and then get more administrative assistants, and however you wanted it to look, but it definitely frees up and gives you more options in your business. And that is why I start my clients with just driving that revenue and getting them into the public speaking, because it's the fastest way.
Now, I've tried all that. You got to find someone that you can trust, first of all, with mental health, and that after you're done training aren't going to, it's a whole different thing. You train, you put your effort in it. And I do have other people in my counseling center, but a lot of times I just, rent office space because I don't want to be like the landlord or have to do office management or collect a percentage, or, what I mean, that kind of thing. Because I've done both and found what works easier rather than, I would rather have more time with my clients and do quality services rather than worrying about chasing the dollar. But,
Yes.
But that's that. I mean, the radio show.
Well, and we're back to being that decision maker in your business now, because you get to make that decision. So,
Yay me.
Yeah, that's your moment of clarity.
Yay me. I want to welcome callers to call in and ask any questions. This is we're talking about how it affects our mental health too, but I mean, it's not every day I have an entrepreneur or motivational speaker on how to motivate you to not feel stuck, or if you've been contemplating becoming a business owner or enhancing your business or growing your business or anything like that. We've got an expert on here because, and I'm going to tie the mental health part into this, is that it takes a hit on people's self-esteem when they feel like they have this dream and then they can't accomplish it. And there's these barriers that get in the way. So let's get rid of the barriers. Let's find ways to round them. So please call in 866-826-1340. 866-826-1340. Say hi to Ed. 866-826-1340. And I'd like to hear what your ideas, or where maybe you might be hitting a bump in the road. You're starting off a business or just starting off anything, and maybe you can see it grow, but it could grow bigger. 866-826-1340. But so back to you, Stacy. There's in your bio, you also say things where we were there's two major pitfalls of business ownership that can negatively impact the performance of your business. And you say something along the lines of that many business owners get caught up in working in their business instead of on their business. Is that what you were just talking about pretty much?
Yeah, yes, because, going back to your point that, for you, it feels like you're chasing the dollar, whereas someone else might have, big aspirations, or definitely want to work with a team because that's how they work the best. So, but, when you are actually working on your business, what that means is that you are taking more of a 30,000 foot view. You're being, again, is that CEO mindset, and that you're looking at the strategic direction of your business. So you get time to do the strategic planning, and that you figure out where you want your business to go and how you're going to get it there. And then you can delegate out to your team how, if you choose to have a team, some people, maybe having a team isn't for you, but it gives you that freedom to make that decision if you wanted to when you're, but when you're first starting out, you really just, you're wanting to build that revenue, you're wanting to build the credibility and the authority. And sometimes people are, lucky enough that they have, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to invest in their business right away, and they can take it off and running. And if you're not one of those, then, that's called bootstrapping, and you just, focus on that revenue, because that's really what's going to give you more freedom to make more decisions or better decisions in your business.
Well
So
said.
Jason said,
Yeah, I get this. Hold on. Jason from YouTube question. Stacy, could you talk about how an entrepreneur should figure out their why before starting up their business? Why is the why so important? And another good question is to ask is, why you?
well, the why is really important, and it goes back to
Thank you, Jason from
knowing.
YouTube. by the way. Great question.
Yes, that is a great question, Jason. So, knowing your why, and your why doesn't have to be anything really earth shattering, but it definitely has to have some emotional charge to it. And that you get an emotional charge because you feel something internally. You feel maybe excitement, maybe you feel fear, maybe it is passion, but you get some sort of emotional charge. And when you have that driving you, then that is typically your why. It doesn't have to be anything, earth shattering, but it does have to create this emotional charge in you, because that is what is going to keep you getting up in the morning and keep you going in business when things get tough. Because it does get tough. It does take perseverance. You don't have to be the smartest kid in school. You don't have to know everything about business. You don't have to, know everything coming right out of the gate, because you're going to learn along the way. You're going to make mistakes, and those are learning opportunities, and I don't even like to call them mistakes. And that's another thing that Tiffany, that really is a learning opportunity, is how you define failure. So a lot of people always talk about how you define success, but really, how are you defining failure?
Mm-hmm. It's a great. I mean, it's exactly right. What are you afraid? And that's a lot of anxiety that people, they can victimize themselves, or they feel like they can't. Fear of the unknown, fear of what if it doesn't work out, fear of the should haves, the what ifs, the fear of success, fear of failure. Those are all anxiety rooted things. And most, and I say this all the time, but one of the most amazing feelings I've ever felt is that when you still have that feeling that you're able to surprise yourself. Like, for instance,
Mhm.
or publishing a book, or just making this happen, making things happen, just because people on their dying bed, and bless them, but I've worked with hospice patients, and they don't say, I wish I never succeeded. I wish I never tried this. I wish I never tried this. It's always the regret. I wish I would have. I wish I would have betted on myself. I wish I would have gone back to school. I wish I would have found that person that got away. I wish I would have done, the regret is what we have at the end of our lives. It seems like more than, wow, like I tried, you know?
Yes. And one thing that you have to realize from day one is that you're starting to build habits and routines, and just your overall structure on how you behave. And that is the one thing that, if I could have done differently, I would have done differently from day one, because it was almost like I was 100% sure that, okay, I know that I want to leave. I had, a healthy savings. So I was good for, a few years without having to work or anything. But there was still that fear, like, what am I doing here? And what if this doesn't work out? And I would, see panhandlers out on the street, and I would think that could be me.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work out, because, am I going to go back to the workforce? And so those thought patterns start to create these thinking habits. It's, and Tiffany, I think thinking errors, essentially. And those thinking errors
Negative
really
mindset.
become, yes, it affects, and that mindset then creates, your feelings, and then your behavior after that. And
You're never going to
follows
be
you
a
all-
panhandler, by the way. I won't let you. But yes, sometimes we overthink, and then the fear gets in the way. And I see what you're saying with that. It's time for our second break, and we can continue with this. You're making such valid points. Hopefully with some listeners, at least one, if there's one out there that's sitting there going, I wanted to start my own baking cookie company, and I don't know anything, that write my own book or something, but nobody would buy it. I don't know, that kind of stuff. That negative mindset is going to be what's stopping you is yourself, is what Stacy's saying. And there's tools to get through that. Let's take our second break. And Stacy, you're doing wonderful. Thank you so much for this plethora of knowledge. We'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Stay tuned.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Are you having trouble staying sober after you've completed rehab and need a positive environment to help you continue sobriety? At Real Recovery Sober Living, we strive in both community and environment for men in early sobriety to help support you while in early recovery. For only $750 a month, we cover everything you need when it comes to a safe, clean, and accountable environment necessary for success in sobriety. Check out our website at realrecoveryfl.com. That's realrecoveryfl.com. We have 6 locations in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Brandon, North Tampa, and Bradenton, because everyone deserves a quality, sober living.
Hi, this is your host, Tiffany Warner from Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I want to thank you for all your support on ending the stigma on mental health for over the past 7 years and with over 600 episodes, as well as several award nominations and placing as a finalist in 3 categories on the People's Choice Podcast Award last year. If you're listening to this on audio, please visit and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany and enjoy viewing previous shows in case you missed any live. If you're interested in advertising and would like to promote your company, it is affordable and an effective way to get your company the attention it deserves. I also welcome potential guests as well, and all information can be found on my website at mocwithtiffany.com. Thank you again for your continued support, as change can only come when we stand together as one.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hi, and welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. Today, we are talking to a CEO Powerhouse, CEO at the Powerhouse Executive, giving wonderful tips on how to get past your fear and to grow your business, and not only that, how to do it successfully. Welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, Stacy McConnell. So, Stacy, I want to give out before, just for our listeners and our viewers, your contact information for people to find you. It's Stacy, not with an E, by the way, S-T-A-C-Y, not E-Y, StacyMcConnell.com, and that's McConnell with two L's, and two N's. So you can look up her website, Stacy at StacyMcConnell.com. And that's Stacy without an E, just S-T-A-C-Y. Or you can go to thepowerhouseexecutive.com as well. And that's ways to contact her for more information. And I'll repeat that a little bit later. But for those that are not watching virtually, I wanted to make sure that I told you that. No. So welcome back, Stacy. And Jason from YouTube has a question for you. He says, could you also suggest some effective ways to do goal setting for your business and for yourself?
Yeah, Jason's bringing the questions today. And
Yeah,
I also want to go back. I'm going to answer that question. I also want to go back to this. The question previously was about the why. And I want to add something on there that no one really ever talks about. And it's knowing your worth. You have to feel worthy. So it's not just knowing your why. You actually have to feel deserving, and you have to have that self-worth, because you do deserve success. But when it comes to, because if you don't feel like you deserve success, that's going to get in your way every single time. So
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, that's a moment of clarity right there. Yeah, you definitely have to just know that you were born to succeed. There's nothing that is ever holding you back except you. And you just have to know that you're 100% worthy of success, whether it's in business or in your career or getting award, whatever you do in life, you just have to know that you are worthy of it.
Yes, and you deserve it.
Yes, sit in that power of that. And I think that is even more important. That even comes before the why. And that is the one thing that no one ever talks about, is that you have to feel deserving.
Yeah, self-esteem gets in the way. We're our own worst critic. We are afraid to fail, just as human beings, But you'll never know unless you try. And
yeah,
at least you could say you gave it a shot. You have to invest in yourself and bet on yourself. Because if you don't bet on yourself, no one else is going to. Like, it's not like someone can just push you and say, do this. You have to believe it's at least worth trying and that you can do it. And if you don't, at least you tried. And that still is enough to say, well, good for you. You tried. It's kind of like a team. Kids, like, I might not be the best football player, or whatever. My kids, well, at least you tried. Or if they don't win the game, on Little League or whatever, but you tried, it's a good job, good game. You don't have to win them all, but you'll never know unless you play, pretty much.
Even the champions of the season aren't always undefeated. So so every game that you play and you lose the game, then you're going to learn from that, and you're going to improve that go moving forward for the next game and the next game and the next game. So and that's how it is in your business. But again, that goes back to how you're defining failure, because if you define it, and failure is really just a label. That's all it is. At the end of the day, failure is a label. So there's like nothing that has a meaning except the meaning that you put to it. So if you put that label of failure onto losing the game, then you're going to feel like a failure.
Yep.
So failure really is just a label. And so
it's usually like how we feel about something. So like,
yes.
I mean, we could be successful in something, but still feel like it wasn't as good as what we expected or anticipated. As if we see it as a failure, but it really isn't a failure. It was just not what we set our mind to. It wasn't what we were hoping for, or something like that. But failure is what we define within ourselves as a failure. Other people see it as success. Some people see it as not. I could give a thousand examples. So let's talk about you, and because we're running short on time, so I want people to know how to find you. I did give out. Yeah, this is time to wrap up. So I did give out your information. Stacy at stacymcconnell.com. That's STACY, no EY. STACY at Stacy McConnell. There's 2 N's and 2 L's. CCONNELL.com. You can also find her at the Powerhouse Executive.com. And she's on Instagram and most social media platforms, LinkedIn and so forth. And she can help you take yourself with, no matter how high in the company you are. If it's not where you want it to be, if you want it to grow further, you could already be a CEO of anything, but she can help you get to the next level and see where you're stuck. If you're in the team's not working together, things are not going and it's plateauing or something, this is the time to bring someone like Stacy in. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And real quickly, just to answer Jason's question about the quickest way or the most effective ways to do goal setting is actually carve out the time and start with your vision and then work your way backwards and then start with micro goals. And this is my last, I am going to drop something else here when it comes to the goal setting, is that think about the person that in your life that has continuously broken promises to you. How did you feel? And then how did your opinion change about that person? Now, what if that person is you and you keep saying that I'm going to reach this goal, I'm going to reach this goal, and you keep breaking those promises?
Oh, snap. So we'd be breaking snap promises to ourselves. Yeah.
That is like the number one confidence killer, is breaking those promises to yourself. So you're better off. Yes. So, start with small steps and actually follow through with those. If you're scared, do it anyway, because those are your confidence builders. That's how you get stronger and you push those boundaries of comfort outward. And then that is the best way to stop that complacency in your life or in your business.
Well said. So true. So true. And we just need to hear it sometimes, that we are sometimes just the one person in our way. We can blame everything else, but sometimes we are the person that's in our own way. And thank you so much, Stacy, for everything, for being on the show. Well done. And if you missed this, we're going to have it on replay. Most podcasts, Apple, just go to mocwithtiffany.com and you can click on any of the links. It's saved everywhere, and watch it on replay at YouTube and Twitter Live and LinkedIn Live and all sorts of things if you started watching this late. Stacy, it's been an honor, and thank you so much for being on the show. And
Tiffany, it's been my honor. And, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation, and thank you for all the listeners for tuning in. I know this is, a wonderful show, and hope that you got some value out of this.
Yeah, I definitely did. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back every Thursday, Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 to 1 on all the platforms. Go to mocwithtiffany.com and you can see us on virtual. Go to YouTube and just type in Moments of Clarity with Tiffany every Thursday, Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. Be kind to yourself and to a stranger. You never know what they're going through. And get yourself out of the way from yourself. Find your dream because you deserve it. Take care.
Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity.